Hi, this is Eric Siebenaler, the designer of the toys for Transformers Animated.
I'm Derrick Wyatt. I'm the art director of Transformers Animated.
I'm Matt Youngberg. I'm the supervising producer for Transformers Animated.
Marty Isenberg, story editor, head writer for Transformers Animated, and I wrote this episode. We were developing the second season arc, and we came up with all the different ideas for episodes, and one of the wish list characters that everybody really wanted to do was Wreck-Gar. So I kind of earmarked that episode for myself because I wanted to really see how far we could push the comedy in this show. Those of you who know the Transformers movie will know that the Weird Al song Dare to Be Stupid is being played during the scene that introduces Wreck-Gar. And of course we make a very direct reference to that song later on. There's me, hey.
And a direct reference to the Junkions. You'll see a hidden cameo of the Junkion motorcycle.
Oh, that's right.
In this episode.
Blink and you'll miss it.
And of course,
Literally.
the significance of Wreck-Gar is...
I'm sorry, was that a caricature of Arenio in the background?
Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
Reno's there, and then that's me on top of the toy store, too.
Oh, right, that Wyatt Toys. Arenio Maramba, one of our directors. Did he direct this episode, or was that Ben?
This is Ben
Jones.
Jones.
Ben Jones
Jones
directed
directed this
this.
episode.
And this is Weird Al doing the scientist here, too, which is...
Right.
Special cameo Weird Al for the scientist.
And we should talk about just what the experience was of recording Weird Al and having him in the booth. We came back from lunch and we sort of saw Weird Al on the corner, and there was this buzz just going through the building at Cartoon Network. Weird Al's going to be.
Even among the voice actors, it seemed like, we worked with special guest stars all the time, but this was clearly different.
And, this is going to sound really nerdy, but, I mean... Weird Al is a living legend. He really is. You don't get a chance to work with that many living legends all the time, but I think he counts as one.
And just coincidentally, Tom Kenny's son is a huge Weird Al fan. And when Tom found out that Weird Al was going to be doing the voice, he surprised his son. He brought him to the recording session, not giving him any clue that his idol was going to be there. And there was this hysterical moment where he just walks in and Weird Al walked up to him, and this kid just turned beet red and mouth, jaw dropping to the floor.
It's even better that his son and his son's friend are both gigantic Weird Al fans, and so without knowing Weird Al was going to be at the recording session, they were listening to Weird Al music the whole time on the way over to the recording session. And so when they walked in and saw Weird Al, his friend, it looked like he was hyperventilating, like he couldn't breathe for a second.
You can't write stuff that good.
That's
perfect.
This little man here was one of the incidentals designed by Arenio Maramba in the early on in the process of Transformers Animated.
I was going to ask you about him, actually.
Yeah, don't ask me. I don't know. Yeah, he's
Strange looking man.
He is a very strange looking man, but
he's so
one of
well
my favorites.
so well color coordinated too. His socks match his shirt.
And David Kay does a great voice for him.
Yeah, I think I had forgotten that he did that voice when we first did the show again, did the post-production on the show, and when I was reminded he did the voice, that was just the funniest thing.
David's very versatile.
Very versatile.
Oh, the other funny thing about Tom coming to that recording session was he wasn't originally supposed to be doing a voice in that session. We hadn't cast him, and it turned out there was a character that we hadn't cast, and we didn't have an actor who was free to do it. So thankfully he was there and came in to do the voice.
He means us, doesn't he?
So a quick note about the toy aspect of it. We had not done a toy of Wreck-Gar since the 1980s, and this was a perfect opportunity. It was a really fun design process working back and forth with Derrick to figure out what the new interpretation of this character is going to look like.
And really, what else could he be other than a garbage truck?
Well, I think this is the first garbage truck Transformer too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you have a bit of a job convincing people to do a garbage truck as a...
One of the things working at Hasbro, we always want to design cool vehicles. So I don't know. This was one case where everybody just kind of bought off on the idea. We talked about how cool and how funny this character was going to be in the show and how he was going to resonate and who was playing his voice actor. So everything just kind of fell into place, and they let us take a chance with the garbage truck.
See, his head is kind of designed after an old television set.
Yeah.
so he's sort of spliced between the G1 Wreck-Gar and the garbage truck, and television set and a little Weird Al thrown in there too.
And I love the flies that are
Yeah.
constantly buzzing around him.
That was our director Ben Jones.
That was Ben.
That was in there. Yeah.
There was a little bit of Harpo Marx and the pulling things out of the overcoat with Rekgar and his backpack. So I just love the idea that he could pull anything regardless of size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like he's got another dimension in his backpack, huh?
Oh, we're coming up to one of my favorite Megatron moments.
Before the Autobots get their filthy servos on it. Stasis lock itself, Gugnut.
Lugnut just loves and lives to serve.
He's a noble Megatron.
And then the twitchy eye.
Did Ben put that in?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Was that the animators?
I'm not sure, but it's so appropriate.
I think that was Tom Kenny. That was one of the voices we hadn't cast.
Rekgar's just happy to be there.
An
Here's-
angry archer.
Yeah, Angry Archer.
Not so angry in real life.
This is a character that was based on, actually, my boss at Hasbro. He's a fun guy. I love him.
He's in the next room, so we can only say nice things about it.
Excuse me, I was hoping you could tell me what I am.
I love this police officer too.
And I think that was also Tom Kenny.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do characters in the show that are meant just to be, one-off characters, but because we have such great voice actors, they all have this character to them that you want to see more of them, and that's what happened with Porter C. Powell, who you see in this episode.
Yeah, he was completely an incidental character. He had an interesting name, and then there was this great design.
The design that Derrick did was awesome.
And so you guys kept coming and say, "Oh, we got to keep putting this guy back in. Who is he? What does he do?"
It's very 70s game show inspired.
Yeah.
He's great, and Bumper does a great voice for him.
And so, that police officer is another character I would not mind seeing again because he's so good.
Or me thinking maybe he's Fanzone's ex-partner who's still a beat cop.
So you're hearing story session right here.
A lot more patient with them if they get out of my way.
So one of the big story beats in this episode is around Ratchet and his impatience with everything, and it
His
kind of
poor bedside matter.
yeah.
It really dovetailed nicely. Once we had the idea that Rekgar would be completely suggestible, and then anything that was said to him, he would believe that was him. And then it just came to, well, then who would be the person who would say the worst things to him and the wrong things to him? And then the story starts to suggest itself.
And there's Spike and Carly Witwicky. Spike voiced by his original G1 voice actor, Corey Burton.
For the first time in about 20 years.
And so who is Carly pregnant with here in this
Not
scene?
Daniel. It's
Not
their second child. I don't know.
The second child doesn't have a name, but I
yet.
think in the future we do see them walking with a baby.
Little
Walking with
toddler,
a
yeah.
baby,
Little
yeah.
baby.
It's Jennifer Witwicky.
Jennifer. Well, there she is. She's named right here in this record.
I like the touch of the flies always flying around Redguard too.
Yeah.
He probably is very, very smelly.
I am Rex.
This interaction is really good too. With
Yeah. This was very Monty Python inspired. It was kind of sort of like the Holy Grail, stay here and make sure he doesn't leave.
Okay.
Another fun thing with this episode is that the animators actually did push the animation and made it a little more cartoony. It fit really well with the story we were doing.
yeah,
This was animated by Answer Studios in Japan, who did a really good job at finding, good character moments and things like that.
There's a lot of times when things look a little more rubbery or balloony than they usually do. It's much more cartoony.
Yeah.
And it's Tara Strong as Carly.
This is my favorite.
Just a little girl.
I don't know why that's so funny, but it makes me laugh every time.
Every time I see it, we've seen it about 30,000 times, but it's still funny.
Yeah.
Wyatt Toys again.
Wyatt Toys. Yeah, I don't know. I remember sitting down and trying to figure out how many times I had watched an episode by the time it aired, and I think I lost count after like 20. We go through these episodes so much in the process of making the show that we know it in and out. And so if there's a joke that makes you laugh every time, I think you did something right.
That's a good sign. I remember there was a lot of footage of that armored truck rolling.
rolling and rolling. I think we cut like 90% of it out. It kept going and going and going.
It was the world's longest roll.
For extra dramatic effect.
Yeah.
And I just love that we got away with, totally terrorizing the pregnant lady.
So you want to play rough, do ya? Huh?
Poor Carly.
Much about these things, lady, but I think you're supposed to breathe or something.
The wisdom of sorry.
I should mention Jeff Bennett is doing the voice of Angry Archer.
Must be valuable. Now,
That was Aaron's request too, to have the robotic arm, right?
Yeah, yeah. It was really funny that when you had first developed
wait.
those concept sketches. I'm sorry.
Coming up, Retgar.
Oh,
there
right.
he goes.
Oh, with the bike that came out. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, the funny thing is, like, Derrick had done some sketches of what Aaron Archer would look like as an animated character prior to actually making the Angry Archer character, and I posted these things up right outside of Aaron's office. Like he didn't know they were gonna be made, and he loved it.
I will protect.
He was so surprised.
You're also supposed to.
You did a good job, Derrick.
Thank you. I try.
Right. Catch.
And it just Angry Archer just turned out to be one of our favorite recurring humans too. It was a lot of fun.
He's just so absurd.
You still
I think originally we had theorized that that's a fake accent he's putting on too, right? It's just part of his costume.
Hadn't really thought about that, but it does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stays in character. He's a method actor.
Yeah.
I am Retgar.
He's really from Detroit. He's not from England.
Must catch the bad guy. He's going. Now.
He obviously had some acrobatics training too.
Yeah.
Not just stage training.
He's much more graceful than the real Aaron.
I am Retgar. I give off a ton of all-spark energy.
So what? An all-spark fragment just brought a junk pile to life and made some new kind of Autobot?
I am Retgar. I am some new kind of Autobot.
I love it when he's mimicking the characters. Just had delivered the line.
That was Sue Blue's idea
Yeah, it
actually
was great.
in the booth. She said, "Well, why don't you mimic his tone of voice?" And it worked beautifully.
Because he couldn't have had this line delivered that way without that. That's so good.
It's great.
Gets in his face, but he's still very happy. This transformation was completely posed out in the storyboard by Ben Jones. That's why it looks so cool.
It looks so
It's a
good.
great
And it was.
transformation.
We had just gotten, I think, that Eric's blueprint for the way the transformation was going to work, and Ben really followed that, tried to get it accurate to the toy.
I think he did a good job.
It's just a trail of garbage just pouring out from that truck.
It never stops.
Yeah, there's just a limitless amount of stuff in there.
It does make him easy to find.
Yeah, just follow the smell.
I'm trying to work on that feature too in the toy.
And this is the debut of Lugnut's mace here, or his axe.
Yeah, that was a weapon. When we had designed the toy early on, we had to figure out a way to get rid of the tail of the plane. And that was just an idea that Derrick and I came up with. And by the time we'd figured out that for the toy, it was too late to get it into season 1.
Yeah, it was season 2 by then. So.
What's funny is that in this episode we found a different way to get rid of the tail
Yeah.
of this plane, which you'll see in a few minutes.
Oh, he's so happy to worship Megatron. So happy.
What's a Megatron?
Rick Garm, not so much, maybe. I like that he pulls him up by the belt buckles here.
Yeah. Because they're metal.
They're metal, yeah.
A nice detail.
all right, sir.
The forced friendliness. And look at Percy Powell's limo is designed by Byron Penderanda. Just awesome. It totally needs to transform. I don't know what's going on with that.
I love his robo chauffeur
Yeah.
too. Right?
There was a character from another transforming robot show that was based on that vehicle.
Yeah.
Who knows?
The robot had a little top hat.
Oh, now we have to do it.
I remember having a conversation with you guys once, and like all these cool vehicle designs that you guys have done over the years that don't transform, how you would like to get them all to be toys.
I would love to see all the vehicles we do as toys. Byron, the designer, he did such an awesome job at making these retro futuristic cars that I don't know, in my opinion, would make the best Transformers. But we only have so many characters we can put into a show.
There's a good sense of scale between Lugnut and the Autobots. And Lugnut is massive. He's
bigger than Megatron.
He's bigger than Megatron. Yeah.
That was a nice fade out too on the blinking light.
Except his toy form isn't really bigger than Megatron, but we're working on that.
We're pretending. Like the blink there.
Yeah, that was a problem. How do you make a person with one eye blink?
There's the Bowie Brown on Mini Bong from
another reference to Transformers the movie
from 1986. So there's so much good, like, just iconic elements over the past 25 years in Transformers animation and toys. It's nice to give a nod back to those things.
The fans love it.
I'll destroy the Autobot.
I love it too.
Well, you are a fan, Derrick, so that does make sense.
Warning, biohazard, property of Sumdac systems.
This part, Matt, when Rickar is unscrewing the tail of the plane, didn't they just give us one screw and you kind of flopped it and did two? So originally, this tail was just held on with one screw. So Matt,
yeah, that didn't make a lot of sense.
So this is actually just the same shot flop. so Lugnut's held together with two screws.
Yeah,
I think the toy is a little bit sturdier than that, actually.
A little bit.
We worked hard on that.
Microbots could eat through a Decepticon.
Imagine what they'll do to downtown Detroit.
Like a Ratchet. It sounds a little bit angry even when he's concerned. Just everything is a little bit annoying. And there's Mayor Edsel and his aide.
Since the sanitation dispute began.
And we decided not to have him speak and just have him speak through his press secretary. And it seemed to work well.
Is that garbage pile getting smaller?
And the crowd cheers.
The crowd of three cheers.
I love how impressed he is there. That is so.
He raised an eyebrow.
So much emotion for him.
That's how he got elected.
Yeah.
Systems have a contract to clean up the rest of the city, Mr. Mayor.
He's not so sure about that.
They cheer for Retgar. I am only good for one thing.
Poor Lugnut. Just flying home without a tail. That's a great Kirby Ben Jones hand there too.
If that scow hits the shore, it's bye-bye Detroit.
We have to.
Was this a real bridge in Detroit?
There is the Ambassador Bridge, which is between Detroit and Windsor, Ontario.
We do try to get some real Detroit landmarks in there.
Yeah, every once in a while you'll see one. Other than that,
it's the future.
It's the future. It's 50 years. They really.
There's some great Studio 4C bonus animation, and we got the big transformations done by them.
Yeah, we had a little extra budget to put in for each of the main characters have their own transformation sequence, and that was Ratchet's.
So it adds a little more drama and heroism to the moment.
No, I am Retgar. I am only good for one thing. Garbage! I know.
That was a nice Decepticon logo, guys.
Thank you. I like how misty he gets here. He's so happy to have his purpose, and it's so misguided.
What kind of liquid does a Autobot cry?
Well, I'm probably some kind of windshield washer fluid, I would imagine.
Yeah, keeps his eyes clean.
Yeah.
Huh? That's a good point.
You're gonna destroy the whole city. You wouldn't dare do so.
Some great Ratchet expressions.
I am Retgar. I dare to be stupid.
And there it is. That's the whole episode setting up for that line, I think.
And in the recording booth, I kind of looked at Al and I just kind of cringed. Is he going to be okay with this? He was fine.
He just belted it out.
He probably thought it was just as cool as you guys had hoped to.
We hope so. There's some really good Ratchet heads in this one.
Yeah.
Really good expressions. There's Ratchet truly Decepticon for a minute there. The red eyes.
You mean Retgar?
Rickar, sorry.
mean thing I ever said about you?
Ratchet's just angry. He's not that evil.
You can be any bot you want to be.
You mean I can be a hero?
Yes. And you can start by saving this.
What's he
Oh, and
standing
by the
on?
way-
He throws it away.
I am a hero!
He got those from the San Diego Comic-Con. They're just those magnets you can put on your car.
I love the vacuum that can vacuum up, anything, radioactive things or whatever.
Including nanobots that
Yeah.
can eat through anything. Which is why there's a problem in his backpack.
Looks like an upset stomach, his backpack. Grumbling.
Well, who really knows the anatomy of a transformer anyway? This is their stomachs. could
Oh,
be
I
in
think
their
there are
back.
people. I can send out an email and find out in
That's
like
right.
5 minutes.
Can go visit some of the Transformers websites and just pop a question, right? Do any of you guys know?
They know better than we.
Hero!
He's no hero. He destroyed my micro.
Oh, poor Porter. Jeez. He's got the roughest luck.
Sanitation contract.
Well, that's the thing is you start the season with him being really mean to a little girl, and you can do anything to him. Never lose the sympathy of the audience.
You know, he's almost the Sentinel Prime of the human world, isn't he?
I suppose.
He's maybe a little more evil than Sentinel.
Functioning trash bots.
And
Well, at least he apologizes.
Yeah, that's nice. Sentinel would never apologize.
Yeah.
with a small increase.
Look at that symbol.
That one looks great.
What do you know? They like me.
Little Sally Field for everybody. Only a certain part of the audience is going to get that, but. And then down below.
Is anyone ever truly dead?
Not on this show.
Well, not until season 3 anyway.
I am a hero! Excuse me, could someone give me a hand? Or a fin? Anyone?
Or a Finn. There it is.
There it is.
There you have it, ladies and gents.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Hope you found it interesting.
I was going to say the Wreck-Gar toy is one of the most dead-on accurate to the animation models. I mean, they're all great, but I think we hit a new benchmark with that one. It really, really looks good.
Yeah. Well, everything just worked out just right. The engineering process doesn't always enable things to work out exactly as we'd hoped it, but that one just happened to be